Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. It's your host Ken J, and tonight we got Crystal in the building. Crystal, you feel me? Crystal, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm good. How you
good.
feeling mentally?
I'm feeling great mentally. I mean, I do a lot of things to help keep that in check. So I work out typically every day if I can in some kind of way. And I listen to a lot of kind of manifestation and podcasts or like YouTube and stuff like that to talk about your mental balance or just things like that. So I do a lot of that type of stuff.
Yo, that's what it is. So we talking about manifestations. Everybody, y'all, we gonna be talking about like her traveling around the world. Like she be traveling. Like it's the energy for me. Like she just be living life, and that's amazing. So, how did you get into like wanting to travel the world? Like.
Yeah, so I mean, I've traveled just like on vacation, like places, like I've gone to like Costa Rica, like some like your warmer summer like vacation spots. But my job actually allowed me the opportunity to do some other traveling. Like the job I'm working with now, like I've been in this role for like a year and a couple of months. But even before I took on the job I have now, my previous employer, I got the opportunity to travel with them as well. And so that's kind of like just I've just had some really good opportunities from work perspective. And of course, while I'm already over there, I'll go ahead and take advantage of that. But like I said, even without work, I'll still here and there would travel internationally.
Man, that's dope. So you got
Yeah,
a job that that's awesome. Like your
yeah,
job, you winning at your job. Like you already over there doing your job thing, and then whew,
yeah.
that's the big energy right there, Crystal. That's the big energy. So what was your like?
It was a lot of fun. I've been there before, but there was a couple of places I had not done. So I've been to like Amsterdam and like Belgium, Germany, France previously, but last month I spent the whole month in Europe. So I started out in Slovakia, so right beside Ukraine. But I mean, it was cool there. So went there, then went to the Netherlands, then went to Sicily, and then Milan, Italy. So that's where I went. So it was fun. It's just very different, and you just have to expect it to be very different, from food to how getting around. Anything that feels normal here is not normal there. Even if you order something and it looks like, okay, this looks like what I eat at home, it shows up as something totally different unless you go to McDonald's. That's pretty
Oh, okay. So you saying that it could be a food or something, you're looking at it, right? So it
much.
looked like something that we'll probably eat at home. So what was it that looked like something that you thought you was getting, but it was something else? What was that?
So I ordered a Philly, and it literally said Philly cheesesteak. So,
Okay.
and then when it shows up, it's like a bread bowl with like all the toppings that you would have in a regular Philly in this bowl, like a bread, but just like it's quartered off. And I mean, it looks pretty, but it was like, yeah, this isn't really a Philly cheesesteak. So
So did you eat it?
I did eat it. I mean, I ate it, but like pretty much what you have to figure out is how to pronounce or what it's in. A lot of times things are in different languages, so you have to figure out that. So you can use your Google Translator to figure that out. But sometimes they'll have English menu, and sometimes they won't. So a safe bet is typically if it's beef or potatoes, and that will typically taste good in any country. But if you start venturing out and trying other stuff, you might not like it too hot. But otherwise, if you can figure out what their language is for beef or potatoes, you're gonna be okay if you eat.
Okay. So when you was in the Netherlands, it was a lot of people speaking Dutch.
No, they can. A lot of people can speak Dutch, but they can speak perfect English as well. Like they'll come up to you and speak in Dutch because what I find there is that it's like a melting pot. You will see any nationality you can think of in the world, and they all speak Dutch, but they speak English as well. So they'll walk up to you thinking that you're Dutch because you can't tell who's Dutch and who's not. And then as soon as you're like, I'm sorry, I speak English, they'll and they just start. So I mean, they obviously learn it at a very young age because it's perfect. It's not really a hard thick accent to like try to listen to. Like it's perfect. So, and that's why I like going to the Netherlands a lot, or because they speak really good English for selfish reasons. So I go,
Hey,
like if you want to go somewhere but experience like being out of the US, go to Europe, like that's a place where people are going to speak English like really well, and they're not shy about it because they can speak it so well. But like if you go other places, they can speak it but they're kind of like on edge about it because they don't feel comfortable, and I'm like, I don't speak any of your language, so don't worry about me. And the other thing that I've done too is like if you have your Google Translator on your phone, I would just type in whatever I'm trying to say, show it to them, and then they would turn around and just respond to me. So there's ways you can do it. So that works out very well. You just kind of pass your phone back and forth until you figure out what the other person's trying to say. So that works well.
so what is the climate like over there? Like, what does it feel like over there?
Whew. So I was lucky this time. So when I went, well, kind of. So the beginning of, so I'll say Slovakia was similar to how it is in the U.S. right now, in the East Coast or the Southern East region. So similar to what we have here. When I went to the Netherlands, when I first got there, it was like 60 degrees, windy because I was right on the sea, and it was just cold for like the first few days, but then it became like warmer, like in the 80s. And then Italy was super, super hot, like it was high 80s, but just dry heat. And they don't have air conditioning over there like we do here because because a lot of the times they don't, like, their weather isn't really hot. Like this was just like a good time of the year to be there where it was actually really warm, but typically it's not, so it's not really a need to have air conditioning. And they use a lot of windows and the cool breeze that your grandparents talk about, they have that. um but otherwise, like, they don't have an air, you don't have air. And in one of my hotels they do have it, but like it had it like regulated where I couldn't go below 77.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute. We got to be on that 65,
it was,
70.
you always felt slightly like you needed to take a shower because you were always hot. You felt a little damp, and like you're just like, ah. So like all month I felt like a little like I needed to take a shower.
Okay. So did you like visiting Italy?
I did like it. Now that I tried to learn a little bit of, like, for a month I tried to learn Italian just so I wouldn't be so lost. And I mean I could understand, and I can't speak it, but I understand certain things. So it was cool. And I mean people don't speak it as much as they do like in Amsterdam, but I could still get around. And then when I go for work, people are always like, I always have somebody come pick me up, take me around. So like I don't really have to do that on my own, but I will. Like when I'm off work hours, I'll go walk around. On the weekends, I'll go do stuff on my own. But I did like it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's really, really pretty. Like all the historical stuff that you see on TV. And I mean, TV is not like a good representation of stuff, to be honest. But this was one of the places I thought was accurate compared to what you would see on TV.
Okay. So when you wasn't working, like what did you do on the weekends for fun?
I would take the train and go different places. So like where I was working, so yeah, I made sure my weekends were in places I would want to go visit. So I made sure like when I left Slovakia, I went straight to the Netherlands so then I could catch a 30-minute train to go to Amsterdam. And then when I went to Italy, I made sure I was close to like Milan so I could go there. So like I kind of scheduled it so I would be in a place I would actually want to go visit if I was doing it on my own. And so
Okay.
I catch a train. Trains are pretty cheap, and you can go somewhere 30 minutes. You're in another place. And even if I wanted to go to another country, I could. I mean, they're like we have our states. Like you can go to state to state to state. For them, it's like countries. So you can go to another country in an hour if you want to take the train or take a plane, and it's really cheap to do that. So you can go anywhere you want. Like it's really interesting how you can do that there. So that's what I did. I just went sightseeing. I went walking around, and I mean I did a lot of stuff by myself, which is fine. But I just get on the train and just figure out how to get to wherever and just go.
Yeah. You know what? I really want to visit Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Like I really I really want to visit Amsterdam, and
yeah,
that's what I'm just gonna say. Like I really want to just experience Amsterdam. I seen Wiz Khalifa over there, so it's like, yo,
yeah.
I gotta put that in my manifestation book and go ahead and speak that into existence. Let me
Yeah.
go ahead and go over there to Amsterdam. So
That's a
um
like I will always like that will always be a spot that I'm like always happy to go to because like you can get some decent food. Now I wouldn't eat the Dutch cuisine because that's pretty boring. It's kind of just fish and potatoes and it's very bland and it's just ugh. But like if you eat their steakhouses over there or other cuisine, like if you eat Chinese food over there or other things I mean not Italy in the Netherlands, it's actually good, but just their actual Dutch cuisine is not good. So you can find some good stuff there. It's really easy to get around. Riding the train around in that city is really easy. There are a lot of museums, really cool museums to go to, a lot of historical things. And of course, all the things you hear about it, it does actually happen there. So, like, I mean, it is what you hear about and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
it's a really cool place.
So what about the transportation, like with the roads? You know how we are in America. Like, how is it with the cars? Like, how does
You
the cars look?
They're the same. I mean, you'll have stuff that like it looks like the stuff we have here, but they may call it something else.
Okay.
Like a Nissan might be called a Bluebird there. Like it's weird. It's the same car, but they may call it something else. And of course, like the European cars we have in the US, they have over there, like your BMW and all that kind of stuff. So that's the same. But yeah, like you can drive, like it's easy to drive there. It's not until you go to like London where things are on the opposite side, but like over and most of the places I went to, like they drove the same side of the road as we did. The steering wheels on the same side of the car that we have. So you could get around. GPS works, you're fine.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about that. Because I think Mr. Bean, you remember Mr. Bean? And he used to
Yeah,
be driving and stuff. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
yo,
probably in the UK somewhere because they have
yeah.
every opposite for them. But like all the other places I went, it's like ours. So you could rent a car and be fine.
Okay, because I ain't know if if you had to get adjusted from being on the other side of the street, or how would it be? Because
Not in those places, but yeah, there are places that are like that, but not like the Netherlands, not Italy. You can drive just like you would here.
okay. So what was your favorite place that you visited in Europe? What was your favorite place?
I would still say it's Amsterdam. I'm like,
Okay.
it just is. Like I say, it's easy to get around. The language is easy. And it's just a lot to see and do. Like it's just I can't explain it necessarily, like, but it's just fun. I mean, the other places were nice. Like I loved going to Italy because it was just beautiful. It's really pretty and it was a lot of history and you just always want to go. Like I wanted to go there. So that was pretty cool to see that. Slovakia wasn't bad actually. Like I didn't know what to expect from that because I had my own bias in my head and thinking like it's close to Russia or whatever, and it's really not. So I mean, it is, but it's like it's not the same. But it was nice. It was just more quiet and very historical. Like I saw a castle. Like it's really cool
Ooh.
looking things to see out there, and it's really really old. Like I will say that everything I was where I went in Europe was super old. Like the stuff we have in US. The US is a younger like country compared to like in Europe, so everything is old.
Okay. Was you able to go inside the castle?
I didn't go like it was just on the way to like my hotel and like the driver was telling me that's a castle and you clearly see it is one and it still had like the wall built around it from like whatever however long ago it was built. So it's really cool to see that like there's a city, a modern city around this historical figure that's in the middle of the interstate or whatever. So it was pretty cool to see that.
Man, that's awesome right there. Just so when you first traveled to Amsterdam, like before you even went this time, right? So your first experience at Amsterdam, you was like, "Yo, I got to come back." That's how you was feeling.
Yeah, like I loved it. Like it was again because it's so easy because once the language is the hardest thing about any of the things you do now. And that was when I went before, that was not like you had all these apps, you had all this convenience that you have now. So before it was really kind of rough. Like if you didn't know that language or like people really didn't want to talk, you really had to like kind of adjust to that. But like it was still fun again because it was in everybody spoke English and it was just a lot of fun. And at that time, I had friends like coworkers. We were all the same age. We were probably like early 20s or whatever, and so it was like a lot of fun. And actually, at the time, they were filming Ocean's 12 there, and so the makeup crew was in our hotel, and we were like waiting to see the crew come in, and we did see Don Cheadle like on the middle, like in the road, like just walking randomly. So it was pretty cool to be there.
Man,
Yeah.
that's awesome for real. Cause now it's like, man, I really want to most definitely go to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
What other country have you been to? Like, have you visited?
Let me see. So earlier this year, I went to Brazil. Um, so that was different. So
Okay.
Brazil. So again, yes, I went to Italy, Netherlands, Vienna, which is where Slovakia was, and then I mean Austria. Sorry, and then previously was Belgium and Germany. Yeah, so that's kind of where I've been
Did you
recently.
like? Did you like Germany?
Germany was okay. It's definitely very like you can tell you're definitely in Europe. The food was really good though. Oh, and I forgot I went to France too. But the food was really good. So, but it was okay. And that was a long time ago. So I don't know how that compares to like now if I went. But that was like, yeah, I was probably in my like that was like 20 years ago or something.
Okay. So would you rather live in the US or would you rather live in Europe?
You know, it's funny. So after being there for a month, I was actually sad to come back because I had gotten my routine down. It's so like laid back. Like people show up to work like 9 or 10 o'clock. They just really laid back. They don't believe in like overworking themselves.
That's amazing.
It's just really relaxing. Like at night, people are up to like 9, 10 o'clock, like sitting on the square, like eating with their family. Even the kids are out at that time of night with school the next day. Like everybody out, the dogs out, everybody just at the restaurants, like they're sitting outside. So it's just like literally 9, 10 o'clock at night, people are out eating
Okay.
and their family where we don't do any of that kind of stuff. So there are aspects of it where I think like, okay, this would be really cool to stay here for a little while. Again, I think Amsterdam would be easier just because of language. But like when I was even in Italy, because I was there for 2 weeks consecutively, I was in two parts of Italy, but still there for 2 weeks. And yeah, like that and the once you get used to eating the food, that's an adjustment. Because they have different food pairings with stuff. That like one time there was like prosciutto with like cantaloupe, which is a very weird combination.
What did it taste like? Did it taste okay?
It did taste okay. It's like
Okay.
people put salt on like watermelon or cantaloupe because that meat is very salty, so it kind of has that same effect. Which was different because I don't put salt on my fruit. So that was a different thing for me, but I tried it there and I was like, okay, I get the concept. So there are certain things that's just a really weird like pairing and like the spaghetti there is not spaghetti that we have here. They don't put red sauce with meat in it. It's like hardly any sauce and it's like pork that they put in there. The pizza is not like our pizza. It's shaped like a pie, but they don't put like red sauce on it necessarily. Like they have it for the Americans, but it's not like that's not what they do in Italy.
Wait a minute, cause you know what? You see, I thought that they use the red sauce and everything like that, and and
They,
they
but it's not. That's not the traditional thing they would have.
okay,
So all the stuff that we're like fed into, like this is like Italian cuisine or whatever, like American Italian cuisine. It's
yeah,
not authentic necessarily.
okay. So was it noodles though? Was it? It was
It was
like new.
yeah, it is noodles. Yeah, yeah. But it's funny. It's like
Okay,
not even like pork, like brown pork. It's like a thinly sliced pork, and it's chopped up in like these little squares, and that's what's spaghetti. Traditional.
I would
Yeah,
have freaked. I would have freaked out
yeah.
because
It's one of those things where you order it and you think it's going to be what you think it's going to be, and it's not.
man, that's
Yeah,
that's that's wild right there. Like
yeah.
it's making
Um, um,
wow,
like horse meat is like a normal thing to eat there, like, and it's
huh?
pretty good. Yeah, horse
You
meat.
s- wait a
Yeah,
minute. You said horse meat?
yeah. That's normal. It's normal in France too. Yeah.
So it tastes like what? It tastes like chicken?
It does no. It doesn't. It looks like beef. It looks just like beef, and it
Okay.
like beef, but it you can tell it's not beef, but it tastes good. I mean, it's good. Like I've had
Okay.
it twice. Like it's not once you get past this horse, it tastes fine.
That
Yeah.
I like the fact that you try different things. So you just living. You know what I'm saying? It's like now I want to try horse meat.
It was
You feel
really it really was. Because I had it in France like more of like a steak and it looked like a really lean cut of steak. Like it was amazing. And it was really good. Like I said, it doesn't taste it tastes like beef, but you can tell it's not beef, if that makes sense.
okay.
And then when I had it in Italy, it was more of like kind of like a Philly cheesesteak kind of consistency. Like it's really thin on a grill, cheese, onions. It was really, really good. So it was like really good. It
Yeah,
was
well,
the best meals I had over there.
the horse.
Yeah, the horse sandwich, but it was really good.
Yo, hold on. So it's better than that fake Philly steak you had, right?
Actually, yeah,
Awesome, awesome. All
yeah.
right, so before you even leave, I have to ask you one more question.
Oh,
What
absolutely.
if what advice would you give someone that has never traveled out the country before and wants to travel outside the country? Like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah. Well, first get the passport
For sure.
and make sure you get it in plenty of time because it's not like you just order it and it's at your door like in a couple of days. Like there are two ways you can get one. So one, you can get it expedited, or you can just get it the regular way. Expedited, it comes in faster, but you have to pay a little bit more. I can't remember how much faster it is because I had to expedite mine recently. But anyhow, if you get it expedited, you can get it. Let's just throw some numbers. Like you might get it in 4 weeks. It's probably less.
Okay.
But if you do it the regular way, it may take you like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So just go to the website and figure out what that is so that you have it in plenty of time so you don't have to pay that expediting fee because that's like significantly more expensive when you expedite it. So make sure you do that. And then just kind of like don't limit yourself to where you want to go. Don't use other people. I mean, you can use other people's experiences, but if people are negative about something, like it's negative because of why. Like was it too expensive because you didn't have the money, or was it really that expensive, or was it, or like is it really that people are rude, or is it just you? So like again, when
Exactly.
a lot of negatives about stuff, like I tread really lightly when people talk about stuff that's negative. I'm like, it's probably a you thing, not the experience. So don't let people's maybe bad experiences limit you from trying to go somewhere. If that's where you wanted to go, don't let somebody's negativity say stir you from that. So go where you want to go. Don't worry about other people, and don't let other people like not be go if you can't find people that want to go with you or do that. Don't let that stop you either. Like it's okay to go by yourself or find somebody who does want to do that. But don't if you're spending your money to go somewhere, don't spend it or do that based on somebody else's hangups. Like do what you want to do because they're gonna do what they want to do.
Facts, facts. That's true. That's totally true.
Yeah,
You got
and maybe
your
learn a bit of the language if you can, just like basics like hello, like where's the bathroom, where can I find something to eat, like just really basic stuff. And it doesn't even have to be perfect, like grammatically perfect, just like bathroom, food. Like you don't have to make a whole sentence. People know what that means. It's just like when people are learning English, they don't necessarily speak grammatically like in a correct way, but you know what they're
yeah.
talking. So don't worry about being able to complete full sentences, but like kind of learn some of that basic stuff. And that takes, you can learn that on the plane. Like you don't have to take a whole month to figure out how to say thank you. Like, so it's just little stuff like that. Do a little research. I mean, yeah, that never hurts. And again, just don't have any limitations on it.
Okay, okay. I appreciate you for coming to the platform. This was amazing. Just talking to you because I ain't seen you like in 40 years. So
Yeah.
I just had to say that. But yeah, this was like hella dope. Like I
Yeah.
just learned a lot. I learned about horse meat. I really want to try horse meat now. Like
Yeah.
real talk. Like,
If it's on the menu, go for it. Maybe.
hey, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna hit you up, Crystal. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm trying this horse meat, aka Philly cheesesteak. So I'm most definitely gonna hit you up and let you know how it tastes. But
Yeah.
everybody that's listening, everybody that tuned in, I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing night and everything that you need is inside of y'all. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Continue being great. And once again, this is Why Not Us podcast.